Congratulations, you just passed your Class 5 road test, also called Class G for my people based in Ontario. And the next thing to do is to go on Facebook Marketplace to buy a used car. You need to watch my video. My name is Taiwo, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time watching me, don't forget to click on the like and the subscribe button. I'm going to give you a complete guide on what to check, how to go about it, things to know, and things you need to really know deep down before you buy a car on Facebook Marketplace. Remember, there is no mechanic in Canada. Mechanic no dey Canada. See, this is not, I don't know where you're watching me from, like your country. I'm from Nigeria. Back home, there's mechanic everywhere. And I believe the same thing with yours, back home. But yeah, mechanic no dey Canada. Appointment, you will wait, and it's not as if they will do it like back home, like they will just fix, remove, and replace. If it's not something they will remove and replace, they will tell you, no, go. So you need to be very careful before buying a car on Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to give you the first thing to do. The first thing to know is the status of the car you want to buy on Facebook Marketplace. We have 3 status in cars. We have the active status, we have the rebuild status, and we have the salvage status. And let's say the 4th one I'm going to include is the out of province status. So I'm going to break everything for you. That is why if you check on Facebook Marketplace, you will see most sellers saying their car is active. So that active means a lot. We have rebuild also. You see some people will be like, oh, their car is rebuild. And we have salvaged title also. Now, what is the difference between these 3? And we have out of province status also. Why is the status very important? On Facebook Marketplace, you will see so many sellers. It's always the active, rebuild, salvage, out of province inspection and everything. You need to ask. See, there are some sellers that they will not tell you that their vehicle is rebuilt, that their vehicle is salvage or need out of province. Some maybe they don't know. Some maybe they just want to be dubious. But you, the buyer, you will not know until you reach the registry. That is when they will now tell you that the vehicle is rebuilt. You just see rebuild on this thing. Rebuild doesn't mean it is bad. So I'm going to explain further. Now I'm going to start from active. Active status means the car is clean, like it has a clean title, it has never had any terrible accident. There are some cars, active status, that has accident before, like they once had maybe just a minor scratch or anything. So still, it will still be active. I've seen so many cars record that they once had an accident, but if you check, it's just a normal accident that doesn't, it's not a terrible accident. So let me just use it. So now the car is clean. So now, but that does not mean the car has not had any accident before. If you check most of the Carfax of a car, you will see that it is active, but some clean, no accident, and some they will have had an accident in the past, but still it's just a minor scratch and everything, and still they'll still be maintaining that active status. So in short form, it's a clean title. That is why you see most sellers, they'll be like, their car is active. You always see it in most sellers description, active status, active title, and that is just it. Now, don't get me wrong. Because a title of a car means active, like it has a clean title, doesn't mean you should just close your eye and buy. No, you still need to check a lot of things. The transmission, the engine, the SRS, everything, the airbags, a lot of things, the body, because there are some cars that have active status. It's just the status for insurance purpose and all that, but it is not well maintained. So you still have to check a lot of the things. Let's talk about rebuild. Rebuild status means that that vehicle has had an accident before. Like now, it depends on, it has been declared salvaged. So it has a salvage title before, like it has had an accident. That this is how insurance company calculate most accidents. Now, let's say the value of this car now is $3,000, and I was just driving. I'm paying my insurance monthly and everything. So I was driving. On a beautiful day, I'm just driving, and I eat something, and maybe I hit another car or someone else hits my car, and the insurance will be like, okay, what's the cost to repair this vehicle? If the cost to repair that damage is around 2,000, like they'll be like, the value of the car is 3,000. So the cost is going to 2,000 plus. At the end of the day, they might even spend more than that 3,000, that value of that car. Instead of spending that money, they will just declare it as salvage. They will pay you, like they will just pay me, my money if I'm not the one at fault. Or even they will pay me if I have a comprehensive insurance. So we have third-party insurance too here. So if I have a comprehensive insurance, and maybe I'm not the one at fault, so they'll pay the person. Now, after paying me, the insurance will take that car and resell it as a salvage title. Some of them, they will take it to, buyers will bid for it in the auction, and they'll send it to Nigeria or Africa, anywhere like around the world, and repair it. So those are those vehicles that we'll see back home. But there are some people here too that also buy salvage title from those insurance. If, let's say, it's just the bumper or it's just a minor issue, it doesn't cost much, like insurance will calculate from their own mechanic. But for me now, I'm a mechanic here. Not even I'm a mechanic. So my own is just to buy salvage and resell it here. So there are some people like that they will buy it from those insurance and they will now repair it. They will gather those parts from the, from you buy it online, buy it from a scrapyard and everything, and repair that vehicle. So they will take it for inspection. The vehicle will pass inspection. Then immediately the vehicle passes inspection, it will change from salvage to rebuild vehicle, so that you, the buyer, will know that this vehicle has been rebuilt. So that is the meaning of rebuild. It means that the vehicle is from salvage, but it has passed inspection. Like they have checked everything, because you have to take it for inspection, and they will check everything that it is worthy, like it is good to go. Like the damage doesn't really affect anything that that is severe or anything like that. So it can still run fine, it can still go and everything. So people can still use it and drive it. So now it will now change from salvage to rebuild vehicle. Like for example, now the vehicle, this car that I'm in now, is a rebuild car. So, and the reason why it's a rebuild car is because it was stolen and recovery. Like I parked it, and all those junkie entered my car, drove it away, and the police recovered it. Because it was stolen and recovered, it has to change from active to a rebuild. Nothing happens to the car, but it's just their own way, because insurance was involved already. So they have to change the title from, active to rebuild. Now, the thing is that you need to be aware that the car you are buying is active, is rebuilt, like salvaged, people will not tell you. Some people will not tell you, but you need to ask, is the thing. Because if it's a rebuild vehicle, you need to check everything. Check if everything is okay, where is the accident, check if it's okay to drive, check everything mechanically. And one of the best way to check that the vehicle is okay, because there are some times that you would open the bonnet, everything is okay, it looks clean, the leather looks clean. Like here now, you see that everything looks clean. You start it, you drive it around, and you see that nothing happened. But after paying, and you now hit the express, and you started driving like what's it called, 1 hour, like 1 hour later, you will just see check engine light. You'll be like, check engine light, okay? In Nigeria, or back home, check engine light doesn't mean anything, but yeah, check engine light means a lot. I'm going to say it, do not buy any vehicle with a check engine light. Even if it drives well, even if everything seems okay, especially if you don't know more about vehicle, like you don't really know much about cars. Like someone like me, I can decide to buy a car with a check engine light. The thing is that there are some times that I'll take the vehicle to the mechanic for inspection. Hey, maybe Canadian Tire, any nearby mechanic to check. But there are some sellers that they will not want you to take their vehicle to the mechanic, or maybe to the nearby this thing, or maybe for a long drive to check everything. Not because the car is okay, but because maybe they don't have time. See, I've seen some sellers that you will get to their car like this and you will be seeing that the fuel gauge is already on E. And it's because they want to sell the car, so they don't want to fill it, to spend more on gas, so it will just be on E. Now, a vehicle that the fuel gauge is already on end, do you want to drive it that long? No, you will just do some road test. And one thing about me is that it is very hard for me or for people to do a long road test in an environment that they are not, used to. Like, for example, you saw someone on Facebook Marketplace. Let's say you are in Calgary, North or downtown. You stay in Calgary downtown, and you saw someone in Northeast, and you decide to drive or take a bus down there. And when you get there, okay, yeah, test drive, in a residential environment whereby there is a 30 playground, school, on Saturday morning or evening, where children are going up and down, you will not want to run fast, and you like the vehicle. It's a car that you love. It's clean, everything seems okay, but you will not want to drive fast in that environment, and you don't even know much about where you are even going. There are some buyers that they will leave you to go and test drive, so you don't even know where you are going in that environment. Though there is Google Map, but you cannot be looking at Google Map and be checking everything in the community that you are not even used to. You will be very, very, very careful. One of the best way to check in that scenario is to use your OBD2 sensor. This is mine. I'm going to drop the link below. So it's Muka. One thing about OBD2 sensor is that there are so many OBD2 sensor in online, in Canadian Tire and everything. Most OBD2 sensor will only read engine code. That is just most OBD2 sensor that you are seeing. It only read engine code. But there are some advanced one that will read everything, including transmission. So if that vehicle, if the normal OBD2 sensor of $30 or $40, it will just tell you, oh, the car is clean, no code detected. Not knowing that 30 minutes before your arrival, the owner of that vehicle has cleared the code with his or her OBD2 sensor, because they know that someone is coming, is on his way, or is on our way to come and check. So you just get there, there's no check engine, not knowing that they have cleared it like 30 minutes before you come in. So, or maybe, okay, you have an OBD2 sensor, you just plug it in and will read. It's just a no code detected. You say, man, this guy is. No, it is not. Because it's a white man doesn't mean they are not dubious. They are. Like, there's no. Everybody, white, black, brown, there are some dubious people among them. So now, one of the best ways for me to do is I have my own OBD2 sensor that will check everything, not just the engine, to check the transmission. It will check what's it called, the ABS. It will check everything inside the car, like everything, the wiring, everything I need to know. So even the airbag, like I finally realized that there are some sellers that if their car has an airbag issue, they will remove the fuse so that the airbag logo will disappear. Because if you want to sellers, sorry, because if they realize that if any buyer sees the airbag logo, you will not want to buy because the car has an airbag problem. So what they will just do is to remove the fuse so that the airbag logo will disappear. So you would think it is clean, but it is not. And one of the best way, and OBD, the $30, $20 OBD2 sensor will not detect airbags, and even cannot detect airbags. So it will only detect any engine problem. So now you need to use an advanced OBD2 sensor. And so I use Muka OBD2 sensor. I love it. I don't need to carry any wire around. I'll just plug it into my phone and into the port. So, and connect the app on my phone and read the code. So it will take like less than 3 minutes, and what's it called? It's going to show me anything that is wrong with the car. So now, for me, I'll check if it's something that I feel is not that important. It's something that I can fix. Maybe it's just all those little sensor problem that I know, an easy fix solution, like easy fix sensor. I will just be like, okay, I can go on. But for you that you don't know much about cars, don't buy any car that has engine light problem. That engine light problem can cost you thousands of dollars. That engine light even there are some insurance that will tell you that you should go and do inspection first before they insure for you. And if you take the car to the mechanic, some mechanic will not even give you a pass approval letter because your car has an engine light. So you need to fix that problem before they give you the approval. So to take to your insurance. Some insurance doesn't care, but some care. So it depends on your location. Another one is the salvage title. Salvage title, most owner of salvage title vehicle, they will definitely tell you, because they need to tell you, you need to be aware that you're buying a salvage title. So they will state it's salvage title. Yeah, some will be like, you can fix it and go and do it yourself. It's always cheaper, if you think you can do it, if you think you can go through that wahala, you can, but I will not advise you to go if you are not a mechanic or someone that is good with car. It's your first car, so you don't need to start with a salvage title. So I will not advise you to go for a salvage title. So another one is out of province inspection. The thing is that I think that's the last one. One thing about out of province inspection is that now I'm in Alberta. If I travel to Ontario, maybe I relocate to Ontario, And after some few years, I want to sell my car now. I will need to do out of province inspection on my vehicle before selling that car. There are some owners, they will be like, they can't go through that wahala, so they will just post it on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, I want to sell my car, blah, 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 blah. But you need to do out of province inspection. It most of the time is always cheaper. But don't go through it because you don't know, except you know the owner. You don't know what is wrong with that car. It's the same thing with salvage. If you take the car to a mechanic and the car doesn't pass inspection, you are on your own. You will not want, even the owner will be like, you already signed a contract, you already signed a bill of sale. So you cannot take it back. You need to fix the problem yourself. And it might even cost you more. And the stress, you later regret, like, I will have just go and buy normal my province inspection, your province car. So now, that is why you see some sellers will put Alberta registered, they'll put their province there, Ontario registered and everything there. So if you are in Alberta, you go for any vehicle that is registered in Alberta. Because if my vehicle is registered in Alberta now, I don't need to do out of province inspection because I'm in Alberta, so I want to sell it to someone in Alberta. But if I'm in Alberta and I travel to Manitoba, I'll need to do out of province inspection. The same thing if a Manitoba, resident travel to Alberta and want to sell his car in Alberta, you need to do out of province inspection. So it is very, very, very important. Now, my advice is if you want to buy a car, you need to check everything in that car. The first thing, I would recommend you take the car to the nearest mechanic. See, the nearest mechanics, you can just search for any mechanic near you, and not just any place, especially Canadian Tire. So just look for a Canadian Tire near me, call them and tell them you want to bring in a car just for inspection. Maybe they charge $100, $150, I don't know, depending on your location. Anywhere, any mechanic near you, they will save you they will check everything into total. Most of the time, they will tell you, okay, this vehicle needs struct, that is shock absorber, I need this, you need that. And you feel like, okay, it's okay, still minimum. Those things are your bargaining power. Like, those are your bargaining power. They will give you a list of things that vehicle need. They will scan it for you. You don't need to be holding OBD2 sensor. So the mechanic, they will do everything for you. Check everything into to even test drive it for you to check the transmission, to check everything for you. So they will save a lot of stress. So now, Canadian Tire near you, any mechanic near you, do it. Take it there. Now, what if the seller doesn't have time or doesn't allow you to take it to the nearest mechanic? It's not a red flag. Like some sellers, they don't just like it. Like they'll just be like, no, you can't take my vehicle to anywhere. Check anything you want to do, but you're not taking it to anywhere So now that is where you need your own, you need to check everything, hold your own OBD2 sensor. Or what if maybe the vehicle itself doesn't have gas and you need to test run and do everything and you don't have time to drive it for like 30, 40 minutes to check everything if it's standard, if it's okay. That is where you need to have your OBD2 sensor, check everything about the car. Especially OBD2 sensor will tell you especially if you have this one. I'm going to drop the link below. So it's going to tell you everything about the car. At least mechanically, you are secured about that. But there are some things you need to check also. So for me, I will always check for rust. You need to check for rusty. So it is very important. Now, Canada, we did. This is Canada. There's always rust everywhere, like hidden rust where you never expect it to be. So rust is very, very bad for you. So please you check for rust in the car. Check underneath. So you go for on the second side. Me, I'll turn the engine, go to the back and feel the smoke. Just see, especially if from the oil gauge the oil is low, and you know you go to the back and you realize that what's it called? The smoke is looks somehow. It's a red flag. It's a sign that that engine is consuming much oil, so it's burning much oil. So, and also the sound of the engine matter most. See, engine transmission and the body, that is the target. The sound, if you are hearing one kind sound, like on funny sound, let me turn on this car so that you see. So, and the next thing is to check the engine. Like you need to check the engine, check if everything is okay. Like like you have to do your research, like check if you see any trace of oil, check the coolant, check just for any traces of anything. You just remove this. This cover hides a lot of things, so you need to check it. See. So remove the oil like this and see, okay, like it's okay. So it's in normal gauge, and also you smell it. So you smell the oil, like if you see any traces of burn, anything, traces of anything that looks different. So you can just, because there are some things that engines will definitely tell you if something is wrong from the oil. So if you smell any burn or any trace of anything, so you just be like, it's a red flag for you. Or if the oil is overfilled, or if you see that the oil is even short, so now the oil has to be in between that two lines. So you can see this one, it has to be on that second line. If it's overfilled, like it's above it, it's a red flag. Like it's too much, okay, you can just clean it and try again, do a second try, dip it in and bring it out. If you see that it's too much, a red flag. Or if you see that the oil is even short, like the oil is above, like is on the last lane there, so it's a red flag. So you just have to be like, hey, I'm not buying. Like maybe that engine is burning oil, so, and that is one of the reasons, like it is burning oil. So you just have to check everything. Now, if you are hearing one sound, like right now, this is an hybrid. So the hybrid is the one working now, not the engine. But after a while, let's just give it some time. You see the engine. The engine is going to start in a few minutes. So now, if you are hearing one sound, like unusual sound, like you yourself is, you're thinking this sound is unusual from this car. So I'm going to advise you, don't buy it, or you take it to the nearest mechanic to check for you, to check the engine for you. So now it's an hybrid, so it's an EV, so it always takes a while. So like this Sonata is hybrid, what's it called, electric. So like the battery is still full. Yeah, okay, now is running now. So you realize that, okay, the engine starts cool, like no unusual sound, no, now, like no crack, 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 crack. The timing chain, nothing. When you start hearing of crack, 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 like some click, 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 click sound. So that is the timing chain. So especially if you are buying Hyundai, so especially this brand, so like Hyundai products, timing chain, it is very, very important. Like every 100,000 miles or every 20,000, I don't know, like if the timing chain has to be, replaced. If the last owner did not replace it, then you are going to face the next problem. So you need to check where. Whew. This is the longest video on my channel, but I think I'm missing something. Like my mind said there's still some things I need to say, but I can't recall. But if you have any question or you want to add to it, don't forget to drop it as a comment below, and definitely I will add to it, or I'll do a part 2, of this video. My name is Taiwo, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.